Breaking news. President Biden appears to have gotten lost once more, and who knows if he will ever find his way off the stage.
Has been lost before and had his dear wife to help him with chocolate pudding and a fresh baby wipe and a helping hand off the stage, but not this time.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's not too bad. It's 64 degrees. It did get nice and chill last night. I'll say. I think the low may have been in the mid 50s,
Well,
which was nice.
You're doing better than me, so.
Yeah. Now tomorrow we're supposed to get really nippy. We're supposed to get down to 39.
Wow. I'll take it.
Yeah. Time to go get the veggies all picked and ready to go. And I hate when it does this because we usually get really cold and then it pops back and it gets really hot the following week. And we're actually supposed to get rain today. It's 80% light rain showers. But the following week we have no rain in sight. So
I can send you some.
Oh, it'd be nice. Jeez.
This is just a moist area down here.
It's already been said that 75% of, and this is the big crops, this is not like backyard farmers or anything like that. 75% of the crops in Ohio have been hit by the drought. You mean they're a loss.
Wow.
So there's already thousands of little bailout things that the farmers do for insurance and whatnot. The government thing, I forget what they call it. So if they lose their crops, the government pays them a percentage. It's
farm subsidies or something like that.
Yeah, I forget. Something in those. Yeah. But it is what it is. It happens. I mean, it could be, California next year again with the drought.
Right.
It's just weird that, Ohio is being hit so hard with it. With that, we have a bunch of stuff in the news and some touchy subjects on a few of them. So we'll have to be careful of those. We got TH2 in here, Harvest Mary Moon, Pat Evans. Let's see, Christy Baum. We got Kim, Bubble Bibble, WTH, and Jennifer Ocean. Good to see everybody. Oh, and Lake just pops in.
Good morning, Miss Lake.
And I think, let's see what to start. Yeah, let's go ahead and start off with some election type stuff. And I don't believe in the polls in the first place, especially when they come from CNN. But yeah, this is and if you pay attention, this is white non-college likely voters This is their poll for CNN. Um, you main thing I was looking at is Georgia. Look at Georgia. 71% favor Trump. Arizona 65, Nevada 64, Pennsylvania 63, Michigan and Wisconsin are the lowest ones in that. And I thought that was kind of, and it doesn't really mean anything. Like I said, I don't believe in the polls. They nitpick who they want to take the polls, and then they suggest one thing. I said there's a video. There's no video, but yeah, it is what it is. And I thought I'd just show it.
Yeah, it's well, it was the same with, like you're saying, you don't trust them. I don't either. They had
No.
they had our favorite in 2016 at 6 points ahead of DJT,
Yep.
and he thumped her. So yeah,
Yeah. And Putin prefers Harris over Trump. I wonder why. Now he's talked about this in before the Harris Biden thing happened, when Biden got the boot, so to speak. Uh, he he wanted Biden over Trump because he says Biden's predictable and basically a pushover. So if he's saying that about Biden and then endorsing Harris, you can pretty much suggest the same thing, um, which is probably pretty true. I mean, look at the track record; that says it all right there. Uh, yeah, and it goes to say a little bit more that a lot of joking and poking at, yeah, predictable politician from the old school is what he says about Biden and Harris. So pretty much they're in the same boat. But when you're, and I don't like to call Russia an enemy or anything, but they pretty much are. It's just like China, even though we get most of our food and stuff from China. Um, you might call them an enemy, so to speak, um, and that's when they endorse somebody. My first thing is endorse and go with the person they don't endorse.
yeah.
Oh, what was this one? Oh yeah, this was funny. Chinese spy agency warns youth about falling for good looks. Yeah, the Chinese state security um, is warning its young people to be wary of the handsome boys and the pretty girls they meet. Could be honey traps, alluring them to be foreign spies.
It's
uh,
ridiculous.
this is what they're pushing out. That now there's not too many handsome guys nowadays in the United States. um, what they call soy boys now, I guess they call them, dressing up as girls. So I don't think you have too much trouble with that. It's probably the girls more than the guys, but yeah, I thought that was a pretty interesting story that um and they said this has happened before in the 80s. A lot of younger Chinese came got suckered into becoming spies for the United States because falling in love with you know the pretty boys and the pretty girls.
Hmm.
But yeah, it was a pretty good little story there. Let's go ahead and you have to have something nice to throw in there. So here's a mother cat lost all of her kittens, and they went and got a baby kitten to adopt, and yeah, here it is. Oh, we gotta mute it. It really looks like my cat, but he's a boy. And she she fell in love with the cat and took care of it. Yeah, she, they they said in the story that um the cat the mama cat was really depressed, as was on the verge of dying, and this brought the mama cat back to life. And you know it was an orphan kitten too, so it worked out the best for both of them. And again, when it makes sense, it makes sense. And this is what I like seeing is the younger, because we already know this. Um, we came from the Gen X's and whatnot that um, we're kind of intelligent enough to realize uh, realize things that the younger people nowadays just don't get. But there are some of them that are waking up, and
Y'all, the truth is as simple as this. If Trump was going to do all the horrible things that they say he's going to do, he would have done them already. And if Harris was going to do all the amazing things that they say she's going to do, she would have done them already.
yeah, can't argue with that. I
Yeah.
mean, it's basic. One plus one. Unfortunately, people don't get that. There's a
No.
lot of people out there that don't understand that,
I
and it's
personally think
simple.
people's lives are too complicated. And that might sound stupid and off the cuff or whatever. I don't care. Everyone is they're just so caught up with everything that they don't stop and, smell the roses, smell the coffee, whatever proverbial definition you want to
Yeah,
call it. And everything gets lost. Lost in Translation. Good movie.
let's see here.
Yeah, Pat's got it right. fake book was also invented by the 3-letter agency. So
There you go. This is a good one. I bet you if he was chewing on a fry, he would have spit it out when this was asked.
Any reaction to your family saying they're going to support? We're going to stay here.
I don't know if anybody's seen that or heard it, but
and this is the guy who, what do they call him? Tommy Tampon or something like that.
Tampon Tim.
Tampon. Okay, right. And this is the guy that calls JD Vance weird.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know.
Yeah, right.
But you don't see that evidently failed badly because they don't say it anymore. Whatever that smear thing was going, they're weird. I don't know. I didn't get it. Evidently it was for younger people or something like that. But his own brother is a Trump supporter. His family, pretty much his entire family, is Trump supporters.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
yeah,
what's that say about you as a candidate when your own
I
family
know.
knows you're a deadbeat?
Let me see if I can find a picture of their family. Oh, I don't got it. Oh, let me see. Let me dig it up here. Oh, here it is. And this is not Photoshop, by the way. This is their actual picture. See if I can find it on here. There it is. This is their actual family. Waltz for Trump. And the guy over here, this is his actual brother right here.
Mm-hmm.
And this is, family members, and I think this is his mother. Mother or mother-in-law. I'm not entirely sure on that one. But it says Nebraska, Waltz family, or Waltz for Trump. And you know how embarrassing that has to be. And that one reporter asked, how do you feel that your family supports Trump? And he's out of there. You don't want to answer that question. But yeah.
That's pretty bad, though.
Yeah. Yeah, one of them does live in Florida.
Well,
But the brother lives in Florida.
but y'all need to remember Florida's closed now, so
And I know there's probably people not interested in this, but let me find it here. Lincoln Park is reuniting after 7 years after Chester deleted himself with new music, even though they said they would never do that. Again, every time I've seen this, when somebody does something like this, they pass and whatnot. The band already says, "Oh, he can't be replaced, so we're not doing it." Unfortunately, they are, and yeah, a lot of the stuff that's behind this I don't agree with and stuff, but it's supposed to be in honor of him and whatnot, but we'll see how it goes. I just thought bring that to people's attention. They got a whole album and everything, so I don't know. We'll have to see. And believe it or not, since you know what is coming up, 9/11 survivors question unearthed video showing Saudi agent. Yeah, this is. I'm gonna go ahead and play the video.
Within days of the 9/11 terror attacks, Scotland Yard arrested a suspect in Birmingham. He was a Saudi Arabian student, Omar al-Bayoumi. He was freed without charge, but was later identified by the FBI as a Saudi intelligence agent. Now, some of the secret evidence seized from his home has been revealed in a civil court case in the United States. It includes this video the suspect filmed with commentary in Washington, D.C.
This is before
2 years before the hijackings.
2 years beforehand.
Over an image of government buildings, he commented, Later, on Capitol Hill, he made a reference to the plan.
Al-Bayoumi's language was very incriminating. The two words that were that he used, one being the demons inside the Capitol, and number two, the plan he referred to. He was casing the building. He was casing the area. Clearly, one of the flights was intended for the Capitol.
Mr. al-Bayoumi appeared at the end of his video. He insists he was filming as a tourist, and he denies being an intelligence agent. In the past, he has admitted around that time in the States befriending two of the future 9/11 hijackers, but only as a fellow Saudi in a foreign land to help them settle in. The two hijackers were among those who crashed a passenger jet into the Pentagon Defense HQ, killing 189 people. 9/11 campaigners say the Met Police evidence has boosted their efforts to sue the Saudi government for compensation, because al-Bayoumi was a student supported by a government agency contractor. The campaigners are also angry that this evidence, seized in 2001, has only just emerged. Did the Met Police hand it over to the FBI at the time? And if they did, what happened to it? And if they didn't pass it on, why didn't they? Something else the Met Police supplied, these scribbled calculations about the distance of a plane from the ground and the horizon. Mr. al-Bayoumi said they were his son's homework assignment.
The items that the Met has supplied are crucial bits of new evidence, which, on my take, on my reading of them, really do support the notion that an employee or employees of the Saudi regime aided and abetted the 9/11 hijackers. And that is at the heart of this case.
In the past, the Saudi government has denied its officials played any part in encouraging or supporting the 9/11 terrorists. Martin Brunt, Sky News.
Yep. Why is that not being all over our news? Have to go to a foreign news company to see this stuff.
Yep.
Not much to say about that. Then is why is he still walking around? And okay, that was your kid's homework for the day. Okay, yeah. Sure. Yeah, they're proof that they different agencies knew about this 2 years, I think they said 5 years actually beforehand. There was talks about it. Say hi. But yeah, over 20 years passed, and the guy's still walking around.
Yep.
And yeah. With that, let's go to another guilty party. Windling legal saga of Hunter Biden that ended up an unexpected guilty plea. I'll go ahead and play this. I think this is rewind. Yeah. Yeah.
Mr. Biden, do you think you can get a fair trial? Do you think your father may pardon you now that he's no longer running for re-election?
You notice, I don't know. I'm getting as bad as 101 with these things. They start walking when he first gets out. He's walking with her, and it's almost like he's dragging her in there with him by the looks of it. And yeah, he starts pulling here.
Now that he's no longer running for re-election, sir.
Yeah, and if I know I gotta go back to this. If you look at the hands, hand holding, she's not committed into this. I'll put it that way. I think she being forced into this visual of supporting him, because if you look at the hands,
He's no longer running for re-election, sir.
she's not committed. Her hands are not committed in that.
No, being drugged along.
Yeah. And did you? Oh, what's this guy doing?
He's reaching.
Was it the horn? If that's this guy is too.
Yep.
Oh, there's 3 guys.
They're all lefties.
Now they are going into a courtroom, so I don't know if, because this would be Secret Service, right?
Right.
Are they allowed?
I don't know. I think if it was the president or the VP, probably, but
Yeah,
I don't know for sure. That normally that's.
I was just wondering that. Was just something just pop up and they heard something, or something come over the radio or something, or are they just getting ready to pull them out to where they can deposit them before they go into court? I don't know. Well, there's somebody went through, hit the red light. And there's another one.
Stay back.
Yeah, I guess that's it of it. But yeah, if you didn't know, he pled guilty. Again, I really think if it comes down to um, Trump winning, then Biden's going to, you know, use his powers to get his son out of jail. Um, but I think if Harris wins, he'll do it. It's. I think that's part of the deal of him dropping out.
Probably. There's got to be
Yeah,
a session somewhere.
yeah. Harvest. I posted a video. There's um thousands in that of National Guard and Army being deployed to New York, um, Chicago, L.A. Where was the other one at? There's another one. Baltimore. Thousands. I mean thousands, and they're actually pulling deployments from other countries and bringing them back for whatever. And I posted a short just with a question mark. Um, people are saying this already. That's in New York that they're getting ready for, you know, Marshall Dillon, the lawman. But yeah, I thought it would bring this plea because you're not going to hear it on the regular news. uh, and this was guilty to 9 federal tax counts too. Um, now, what's that mean? Who knows? From where that goes past that. Um, Also, jump jump around a little bit here. Uh, the team hosting the NFL game in Brazil rejects Packers and Eagles wearing green because of their soccer rival. Um, Evidently, their rival is wears their uniforms are green, so they don't want either of those teams. Which you would have thought this would have been, come up before, it was time to have these teams play down there. Um, yeah, they're both green teams. Green Bay is green and yellow, and so is Eagles. Eagles, their main uniform is green. So why didn't this come up beforehand and just had 2 other teams play during this time?
Yeah. And what in the world are you playing for down in that country?
Yeah, they don't
I would
like
not
it
leave,
or
I would
anything.
not
It's
leave this, that's a soft target, man. I
yeah,
wouldn't be down there.
yeah. I don't get it. I I understand, going to other countries and doing, spreading the US and all that stuff and our 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 football and everything. Uh but yeah, I Brazil is, they're in the media right now. I wouldn't say all media because they block most of it like other countries do that doesn't allow freedom of speech? And why are we the country that endorses, well, we're supposed to endorse freedom of speech, you know, going down there of all places? I don't know. It's one of those we may never know things. Yeah, outside of Mexico, we've done the Mexico thing, and that was, there was so much bad stuff that happened during that. Just imagine Brazil. Wait until the stuff happens in Brazil. Let's see. Here we go. Yeah. Activist Greta. Yeah. Arrested at Danish pro-Palestine protest. She got the scarf on and everything. You know, Amazon is making so much money off that scarf because people are buying them scarves up so much. So they have something to cover their face with to make it more look like, oh, I'm supporting Palestine because I'm wearing this thing. What happened to her about the climate? You know, we're all supposed to be dead now anyway. Yeah, I don't know. And that's and the fact that so many of these people support Palestine after they, well, tomorrow is the anniversary, isn't it? Or no, a month from now, October 7th. Yeah. When Hamas came over and attacked and did awful things to the women and little ones and whatever. The fact that people like this support that, it's sickening. And if you supported somebody like that, you know, during the whole global warming thing that we were supposed to die from in five years when she said it, but we're still here. We're still here. Hey there, Red Road. How's it going? Let's see what else. Oh yeah. Since we had a little bit of sports in here, let's go ahead and add this guy in here too. Yeah. Let me pop his video up here. Watch how fast he this is CNBC too. So this really surprised me. But watch how fast he changes his tone.
It's not playing, Bush.
Oh, dang it. I hate when it doesn't add it. I hit add the stage and it doesn't do anything.
On this unrealized tax issue, gain issue, and where we've talked about, you know, those who are taking loans against their unrealized stock, et cetera, et cetera. And then they say, well, you know, if you start to tax that, we won't be able to make investments in startups. We won't be able to give money over to venture capitalists and private equity folks and other things like that. What's the What's your feedback to that distinction?
So
Because I wonder, once there's a critique of one, then of one policy, and you get rid of that policy, then of course it moves to the critique of the next version of it.
Well, of course, but okay. So what I told him was, if you tax unrealized gains, you're going to kill the stock market, right? And it's going to be the ultimate employment plan for private equity, because companies are not going to go public because you can get whipsawed, right? I mean, my own personal experience back from the internet days, right? All of a sudden I was cash poor, but equity rich, right? My net worth was enormous, but the number of dollars in the bank wasn't enormous. And so I'd have, based off of the unrealized gains, I would have had to borrow money, and I effectively would have been in hock just to pay my tax bill instead of trying to run my company, and 1,000 other reasons, right? So they realize that's the issue. I can't repeat it enough. Even though she's not directly conflicting the Biden tax plan, to her value proposition is, we need to tax everybody fairly. I'm starting from the Biden plan as a starting point, but that's not necessarily her ending
Mark,
point.
let me just say, I appreciate you calling in, telling us what you're hearing on these fronts. That's great. But as you've said yourself, you can't speak for the vice president. These are things they're telling you. Who knows what they're telling other people? My guess is they're telling anybody who's donating to them exactly what they want to hear at this point. What matters is what they say publicly and what they will stick to.
No, absolutely, positively not. Right? Let me just be very
I don't know.
clear
Like, why do you think that they're telling you the truth and not telling other people other things?
Well,
if they won't say it publicly, say it publicly. Tell all of us so that we can hold you to it.
I get it, but you've got to get the details right. You can't just.
Yeah, but we have 60 days till an election. Like, you're asking people to take a flyer.
Even if it's the day before the election, right? Even if it's the day before. Look, the next question is, the second thing I was going to mention earlier.
I just don't want everybody to trade on what we think and what we feel and what we think may happen.
Exactly.
Just tell us.
I get your point exactly, right?
Yeah. Yep. Like, whoops. No. Sorry, I didn't mean to talk about that.
It's Mockingbird Molly.
Yeah. Let me see. Now, hopefully, now everybody watch what you say in chat and everything, because a lot of this stuff I can get in trouble for. So, now BlackRock is well known, and it's not too bad to talk about the company or the whatever you want to call it. But this guy does a little bit of digging into a lot of stuff. So, and he dug into a little bit of, the businesses and everything. So let's go ahead and take a listen to this.
So I found out who actually owns BlackRock, but there's something really weird about it. Because by now we know that BlackRock is in the top 3 shareholders of basically every corporation in America and beyond. And they do this using our money in things like retirement accounts, pension funds, IRAs, exchange traded funds, mutual funds. But most people don't actually know who owns and controls BlackRock. We all know that it was founded by Larry Fink, and he's the face of the company, but he does not control it. When you try to find out who does control it, you'll usually find this list, which is the top institutional shareholders. Vanguard, BlackRock, and State Street are right at the top, just like every other company. But this is not the whole story. Because if you dig deep enough, you'll find out that actually Merrill Lynch owns 45% of BlackRock, and they're considered an insider, so they don't show up on the top institutional holders list. This merger took place in 2006. So actually Merrill Lynch controls BlackRock in a big way. But who controls Merrill Lynch? Well, Merrill Lynch is actually a division of Bank of America, because Bank of America bought them out during the 2008 financial collapse. So who owns Bank of America? Well, nowadays, Warren Buffett is the top shareholder of Bank of America because he owns Berkshire Hathaway, which is his billionaire investment firm. I'm still not sure what this top one is, this 25%. That's an anomaly, and I cannot corroborate what those shares are, but I found these shares. This is a screenshot from Berkshire Hathaway's 13F where they tell you all the things they hold. And I totaled up all of these Bank of America shares, and it equals 1,032,000,000 shares. That's 13% of Bank of America shares. equal to $33 billion. But I also dug in a little bit into where Bank of America came from and who founded them. And all modern banks are crazy histories of mergers and acquisitions and banks changing their names and merging with other banks, probably for no particular reason. But Bank of America traces its roots back in two different directions, one of which we're not going to talk about, and the other one is back to this Italian dude named Amadeo Giannini, who acquired what was then called Banca di America d'Italia. Sorry for that accent. Over the years, it changed its name to Bank America, and then in the biggest merger in history, merged with Charlotte-based Nation Bank in 1998. So I just thought it was interesting that half of the lineage of Bank of America was founded by this Italian dude that got really into Italian banking back in the early 1900s, you know, when like there was a certain Italian organization that was doing a lot of things with money back then.
Gold.
I'm sure it was all above board though. Obviously. But anyways, back to the weird thing that I can't figure out. Bank of America owns Merrill Lynch, who owns the vast majority of BlackRock. But they don't have anyone on the board as far as I can tell. Usually, the biggest shareholders of a company have representatives on the board that sort of represent their investment. But I've just shown you the whole board of directors of BlackRock, and none of them have any real ties to Merrill Lynch or Bank of America, which seems pretty weird when you own almost half the company to not have any board members. The plot thickens. So two things. If you want to follow the history of Bank of America down the other trail, you might wind up at a certain family name that you aren't aware of that is really hard to find on the internet. That'll probably get videos taken down. Total conspiracy theories. And the other thing is, if anyone knows more than me or is literate in this or has info about why Merrill Lynch and Bank of America have no representatives on the board of BlackRock, I would love to know. After all, why would you own half of a company and then have no say in what that company's doing? Or how do they have a say? What's the story here?
Yep. And just me, I think it's a church in Rome.
That's a pretty big church.
Yeah. And
I hear they have a very large basement too.
Yeah. And it's just me. I'm just a opinion there. And this goes right along with this in a roundabout way.
Pepsi is in $44 billion of debt. Nike is in $11 billion of debt. And Starbucks is in $25 billion of debt. And this is true of virtually every publicly traded company. And here's how it happens. Companies like Pepsi bring in a CEO who has an MBA from business school and has been trained to maximize profit. And in order to do this, the company takes on debt to open up new markets, which requires more and more stores and more factories. They then make more of their stock available to the public to help pay off that debt. And this makes them vulnerable because investment firms like BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street come in and buy the stock. And each of these firms own about 5 to 15% of every major company. So why that number? Because it's enough to get their people on the corporate board. And these companies vote who will be on the corporate boards every 1 to 3 years. So the board members are very aware that BlackRock could have them replaced. And these are high-paying jobs. And then the board chooses the CEO. And it's his job to maximize profits and serve the corporate board. And now we get into why all of these corporations seemingly push the same agendas. Because BlackRock can demand that these companies practice ESG, which stands for Environmental Social Governance. Push the climate change agenda, push the social agenda, or be governed. And by
Yep. And you know, we ask, why would, Bud Light do this? Why would Target do this? Why would Harley do this stuff? It's because they're being pushed this way by, the big companies that control their stock and control their market and stuff.
Yep.
now this is starting to make sense.
Yep.
Why they're doing this is because if they don't, they lose their job. And he'll continue speaking on this.
Governed, they mean removing members of the corporate board and replacing the CEO. And none of these people want to lose their multi-million-dollar bonuses. And this is why supporting private companies is so important. So take Twitter as an example. Elon Musk and the investors he partnered with purchased the company for $44 billion. And they transformed it into a private company, which means you can't buy stock in X. And this protects it from being leveraged by firms like BlackRock. And this is why they've had to find 1,000 other ways to threaten Musk. But they haven't been able to leverage him enough to shut down X. And because of that, free speech has been allowed, and the Overton window of American politics has shifted. Another company I like is Bass Pro Shop. Look how they embrace the American flag. And just like X, you can't buy their stock. They're a private company, which is why you've never seen them promote any of the social agendas, because they're still controlled by their founder, Johnny Morris, who has dedicated his life and his earnings to wildlife conservation. And they don't give in to political correctness, which is why his son, Johnny Morris Jr., could post legendary pictures like this. And I think if they knew about my books, The Right to Bear Arms, and on free speech in the modern world, they would carry them in Bass Pro Shops. So tag John Jr. so he sees this post. And let's teach the next generation what it means to be free. Because like Johnny Morris, I started and run a private company. So I could teach courses on the Bill of Rights, the Founding Fathers, the Constitution, real civics. I could teach courses on ESG. And teach our kids how the world functions from a systems level. People give BlackRock their 401k. BlackRock buys stocks in large companies. They get their people on the corporate board. The board appoints a CEO. The CEO serves the shareholders and board. BlackRock demands ESG. And if the CEO and board don't play ball, they lose their jobs. So check out my private homeschool community and my books on how information.
Yep, that's how it's done right there.
That's what they call, they got a hold of him by the short hairs.
Yep. And yeah, that's how they because that's the thing I got from is like, you know, they have people on the board that checks this stuff before it goes out and stuff. How does this happen? And they let it because they don't want to lose that job with millions and millions of dollars being. It makes sense. It really does. Makes it scary, and the fact that, you know, the ones that don't open themselves up to, you know, shares and stockholders and all that stuff, like Muskie guy does, they can't touch him.
No,
they can't force him to, you know, go that certain way. When you start getting them stockholders in there, and they get when BlackRock comes in there and puts people on the board and does this, your company's over. Let's see. Oh, yeah. This is trending on X right now. If you didn't know.
How you like the house, babe?
I mean, it's okay, but I feel like you could have did this.
What you mean? Look at everything. Everything you wanted. You got the swing set that you were talking about.
That's not what I was talking about. I wanted something for the kids.
We got the pool right here.
I don't want no pool.
We even got a tiny house for the kids. You said you always wanted something like that. Like,
I mean,
what you
nice,
think?
But
Like, what else?
you
Like,
didn't see my vision board I sent you?
I know, but like,
I had a whole plan, like everything I wanted.
you have a kitchen right there. You still haven't used it. Like,
you don't even help me clean the kitchen in the house, so I need enough kitchen outside. Let's be for real.
Really?
You not helpful enough to be buying all this stuff. Who gonna maintain
Why is
this?
it so hard for you to be just grateful for stuff I do for you? I worked hard for this. Not only did I pay for the materials for this home, I was out here in the hot sun doing this, laying a company on this floor, on this ground.
And who made sure you get food in your stomach to get to work? Thank me later. That's what you can.
Of course, you ain't got no job. Of course, you ain't got nothing else to do. You made a sandwich, a ham sandwich, a spam sandwich at that, and all my people.
A spam sandwich.
Oh boy, spam. Yeah, she's a. I don't know. I don't know the whole story there. It kind of sounds like she needs an attitude adjustment.
Yeah.
Some people don't even have a home.
Yeah, exactly. She complaining.
Yeah.
I mean, it looked nice to me. I'd live in it.
Sure. That's another one of the part of the entitlement society. What can you do for me today, sweetie?
Yeah.
And that goes both ways. I'm not saying women or men. It's both genders can do it. So no emails, please. I do too, Carl. I think a lot of them are.
And here, let's head over to this story here. Trump says he will tap Musk to lead a government efficiency commission if elected. Which that would be interesting. Let's give a hear.
Donald Trump says he would tap Elon Musk to serve in his administration if he wins November's U.S. presidential election. Trump said Thursday he'd make good on Elon's offer to serve under him by putting him in charge of an efficiency task force.
I will create a government efficiency commission tasked with conducting a complete financial and performance audit of the entire federal government and making recommendations for drastic reforms. We need to do it. Can't go on the way we are now. And Elon, because he's not very busy, has agreed to head that task force. Be interesting.
It was part of a wide-ranging speech where Trump laid out his economic vision. He also pledged to slash corporate tax rates for companies that manufacture domestically, establish low tax zones on federal lands to encourage construction companies to build new homes, and start a sovereign wealth fund. He says the commission would work to eliminate fraud and improper payments within 6 months, but did not provide details on how it would operate. Musk has already responded to Trump, saying on X that he's eager to serve America if given the chance, and that, quote, no pay, no title, no recognition is needed. The Tesla CEO mentioned in an August 19th podcast that he had discussed the commission with Trump and was interested in joining it. Sources told Reuters Trump has been discussing the Efficiency Commission idea with aides for weeks. American politicians have called for similar entities before. Republican President Ronald Reagan established the Grace Commission during his presidency. But Trump's proposal has already drawn fire from Everett Kelly, president of the American Federation of Government Employees, a union that represents 750,000 federal workers. He accuses Trump and Musk of wanting to gut the nonpartisan civil service and replace fired workers with allies.
Yeah, I don't mind getting rid of the bad sort out of the government at all.
Yep. Waste.
And it doesn't have to be his people or supporters, but somebody that is not going to look for the money in their decisions. Came across this one too, which seems to be a major issue nowadays with the youngins and stuff. Now you'll notice something right off the bat with her. I'll go ahead and play it. It's not that long of a video.
Woke up not feeling the most amazing, so I decided to take myself. I'm literally out of breath, and I've walked maybe 5 feet. I think the worst part about everything right now is not being, oh my God, why is this making me so upset? Well,
And if you notice,
she's got jaundice. Her eyes are yellow.
this is a major issue now. Why is this an issue? Is because they don't go outside. You know, that stuff, that sunlight stuff is important to humans.
She got something going on there, Bush.
Yeah.
With the yellow, the whites of her eyes are yellow.
That's in babies when they're born jaundice, they have to be put in sunlight because it's there's not enough vitamin D in their bodies. But yeah, she's complaining that she's tired after walking 5 minutes. It's because you stay inside all day and don't do anything. But yeah, that's a major issue that's going on now. They're seeing a lot of that now. And it's time for a funny. We gotta have some fun. I don't know what this little sign says up here, but the this guy's awesome. That lady down there is trying to get more sun. So she moves to where she can get into the sun. Let me mute that because I know that's not allowed. Nice sun. Now she can get a suntan, right? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, he's
What else is he gonna do?
Messing with someone with a $1 million Derek crane. Break.
He's waiting for his load to get there, so might as well, play around a little bit. I know I'll probably do the same thing though. Just slide it over just a little bit. And you can tell she's probably just cussing him out right now. Or she's probably thinking, is the sun moving that much? I got in the shade already. Yeah, I thought that was funny. And guess what? It is that time for what lives today in history. Today in history, September 6th, President William McKinley fatally shot. You don't really hear too much about him.
Yeah.
In 1901, President McKinley was shot and mortally wounded by anarchist Leon Tolsky, something like that, at Pan American Explosion in Buffalo, New York. McKinley died 8 days later and was succeeded by Theodore Roosevelt. On this date, 1949, Howard Ura, a resident of Camden, New Jersey, shot and killed 13 of his neighbors. He was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia, was incarcerated for 60 years until his death in 2009. Oof. In 1972, the Summer Olympics resumed in Munich, West Germany, a day after the deadly hostage crisis that left 11 Israel, 5 Arab obstructors, and a West German police officer dead. 1975, 18-year-old tennis star Martina Navratilova, I can't even say her name, in New York for the U.S. Open, requested political asylum into the United States. That was in 1975. Oh, Cal Ripken, I remember this one. 1995, Baltimore Oriole Cal Ripken Jr. played in his 2,131st consecutive game, breaking Lou Gehrig's 56-year-old major league record. Cal Ripken streak would ultimately reach 2,632 games, a record which remains unbroken. And I've got his card for that too. Let's see here. What else do we have? 1997, a public funeral was held for Princess Diana. Ooh, I didn't know that. 6 days after her death in a car crash in Paris. Yeah, that was a doozy there. Well, we got Bush in here too. 2006, President Bush, George W. Bush, acknowledged for the first time that the CIA was running secret prisons overseas, and said tough interrogation techniques had forced terrorist leaders to reveal plots to attack the United States and its allies. Oh boy. Yeah, we'll skip that one. In 2022, Liz Truss began her tenure as UK Prime Minister. She would resign just after 49 days. And that's what is in What Lives Today in History. Yeah, I still have a card that has a date and everything when he retired. It's probably not worth much now, but because the prices of collectibles like cards and stuff, they've ruined all that because they make reprints of it and stuff, and it makes it less valuable. Approve that message. Let's see. Let's look at this one here. I can't remember why I picked this one out, but let's see what it is.
For audience at home right now who's not very familiar with what you had to deal with, can you just kind of walk our audience through what happened to you when you were trying to break stories that show that Eric Holder wasn't being honest with Congress, and that's just kind of putting it nicely, and you were exposing the government for literally giving guns to people who shouldn't have had them in the first place?
Yeah, that was the Fast and Furious operation, but the Obama administration apparently also was very upset at my investigative and award-winning reporting, likewise on Benghazi, on green energy scandals, and so on. But I was tipped off by two people inside the intelligence agencies who I didn't know very well, and I don't think they knew each other, at some point that I was probably being monitored because of my work. And I didn't know what that meant. We'd never heard of this. It didn't occur to me that I was being watched by my computers. I said, what do you mean being monitored? And they said, your computer's surveilled. And both said things like, the American public would be shocked at the extent to which the Obama administration is using these tools against citizens and journalists. So I had noticed all kinds of electronic interruptions and strange happenings. I never attributed that to the government until this started to come up. And then I had a source step in and offer to get a forensics exam, and neither of us thought anything would be found in my CBS computer, but lo and behold, there was the forensic evidence. We continued on with CBS forensic experts who confirmed this. I hired my own for the lawsuit who found even more evidence and found the government IP addresses that were used to spy on me. There was a keystroke program monitoring my keystrokes. They were in my Fast and Furious documents. They've been in there for months. There was all kinds of bad stuff going on, and they were in the whole CBS system, by the way. The lack of outrage, though, among my colleagues, when CBS announced this internally, I thought, oh, everybody's going to freak out that their sources may have been looked at. Nobody said a word about it. It was just the weirdest feeling, almost like you're the pariah because it happened to you, even though I had no choice in that matter. So I did file a suit. This has gone on for over 10 years. The average person can't really win. I've come to find out it doesn't matter. You have the forensic proof. If the government fights it and you spend hundreds of thousands of dollars of your private money trying to hold them accountable, but if they fight it, it'll go on forever. And most recently, the court literally said one of the ex-agents implicated, who is a Secret Service agent who served time in prison for other corruption, but was part of this operation. The judge said, we're going to dismiss charges against, or the case against him because literally because he said he didn't do it. I'm thinking, how can this be? But we did win a victory, a clerk's default against one ex-agent who was giving some evidence. And sadly, as soon as we won this clerk's default against him, he disappeared. He's supposedly dead now. So he can't tell us who the higher ups were. He can't confirm this information at trial, which is what we've really been hoping for. But at least it's a small victory that we're on the record with the government spying on me and having this court victory where we will have a damages trial, I hope, pretty soon.
Yeah, and I think it's really important because that is very interesting, the fact that this person is deceased now. Did the government have to provide you guys with any evidence that this individual was deceased, or are they just able to say that in court and get away with it?
They didn't even say it in court. We learned it by happenstance. He's just been a non-appearance for the whole lawsuit after a certain point. And then someone showed me an obituary, and we can't find out how he died. He wasn't old. We really can't find much information. Now, I will tell you, I think there's every possibility that he's in a witness protection program so that he can't squeal on the higher ups. And the reason I think that, I had provided evidence to the court to confirm that his allegations that he had actually admitted to along the way were likely true, because these court documents I found confirmed he had a relationship with this team, he said, who did the spying out of the U.S. Attorney's Office in Baltimore under Rod Rosenstein. I found a court document that said, it was signed by Rod Rosenstein, that this man had helped serve as an agent in a case and needed to be in a witness protection type thing and in a separate incident that he was involved in. So there definitely was a relationship and proof of what he was saying and what he says he did and what he implicated others in. And then he disappears. And now we're just sort of stuck with what looks like a victory on paper, but it means we can't go for the higher ups, which was the whole point of the lawsuit.
Yeah, and that's really alarming that that suddenly happened. And again, it's not really a surprise, though. I mean, we've seen our federal government do this often, where they're, when you're closing this often, where they're, when you're closing people who are going to help get you disappear, and that's what we're seeing here. Now, I also want to ask you, Cheryl, because although they hacked or they allegedly hacked into your devices, did they try to go after your family members? Because that's usually a big issue here, where loved ones, close ones, I hear from whistleblowers all the time that they actually target their spouses and those who
Well,
are
I
close
think you're
to
right
them
to
as
say
well.
allegedly, but I will point out from a journalistic standpoint, in my opinion, we don't have to say they allegedly hacked, because the announcement of the hacking was.
This is where it starts going downhill. The feed gets choppy, and when they start talking about this stuff, it actually went down a couple times. But this was during the Obama era, I guess you would call it. Anybody that spoke up or investigated, they secretly heard, their line being tapped and being followed, and their devices being looked at, and all kinds of stuff. And it's not nothing that we probably don't already know about. But
Well, Holder was impeached for not showing up
yeah,
to a hearing. So these people are dirty. Even now, they're dirty.
yeah. And that's the thing, is somebody like this takes them to court. The government they print the funds.
Yeah.
It's taxpayers that are paying for it.
No. I wouldn't have any confidence in any court either.
Yeah.
Everyone's got their hand in the till.
Yeah. What they're already finding. And it's a good story and everything, but it is being filmed. So, yeah. Well, I'll just play it, and you guys can decide. I mean, the kid ends up good, but.
Hi, what's up? What are you selling?
Strawberry lemonade.
Strawberry lemonade. How much is it? $1.
Yeah.
Nice. You have change for 100?
No.
You don't have change for 100? How we're gonna do now?
You still have the lemonade for free.
I can have the lemonade for free?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yes.
Let me taste it. Good, tastes good. You can keep the change.
What? Actually.
Yeah, you can keep the change. That's for you.
Oh my
Never
God.
give up. All right?
God, thank you so much.
Work hard, work pays. All right?
Thank you so much to me.
Have a good one.
You too.
Bye-bye.
It's a good thought, but
Yeah.
it is being recorded, so.
Now I want to see how those two split it.
Yeah. I'll bet you they packed up and went home.
Right. But where are they going to break that bill?
Let's go to the gas station and cash it. Our next one, you got to excuse. There's cussing involved. The guy is he's pissed off. He coming out and he's. I'll just play it. Yeah.
These women here go to Gaza. You want to go talk in Gaza? These women, they can't talk in Gaza. It's a joke. It's a joke. It's become fashion. It's fashion. It's fashion. This bullshit. It's fashionable. Yes. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, does it? How many bombs? France, in fucking Syria, here, London. All it is an excuse to hate Jews. It's us. The problem's us, isn't it? It's us. You think tomorrow, if there was no Israel, this problem would be solved? They fucking kill each other. What, genocide? We're the worst at committing genocide. The fucking population has tripled in the last 10 fucking years. Genocide. These people they're fucking idiots. They're idiots blind by hate.
Yeah. He pretty much said it as it is. Yeah. Pretty much hate.
Yeah.
That's all it's backed by.
Yep. But they're taught to hate as children.
Yeah. And it is true. In the last 10 years, their population has tripled. Let's go ahead and never seen before video shows the moments after JFK was assassinated. You would think that's hard to believe that never before seen. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. It's YouTube, so hopefully I don't get in trouble.
The first frame of the film, you can see the Secret Service car. And again, people holding their signs. But Mr. Carpenter missed filming the president just by 5-10 seconds. And because he didn't get the president on camera, he wants to go up on Stedman's Freeway because he knows they're going to the Trade Mart. In just seconds, the president's car is going to go screaming by at 80 miles an hour. This film is historically important visually, but as an artifact, it's extremely collectible. It is the first original reel film you can really buy from November 22nd, 1963, since the Zapruder. You have this moment on this film, and I couldn't wait to see it, where Limo 1 is speeding 80 miles an hour down the Stedman's Freeway, heading to the hospital, and Agent Clint Hill is still on the car, holding on. And as the car passes by, you can clearly see Mrs. Kennedy in the back seat and Clint heroically still holding her down. And they're on their way to attempt to save the president's life.
There were so many cameras in Dealey Plaza, but also all along the route, beginning at Love Field, that capture these unique personal perspectives from these very limited angles. And, you know, this amateur color photography or black and white photography, it connects us to the story in a very special way. As we lose the memory of the assassination, what we're left with is that visual memory.
What I'm hopeful is other families in Dallas will go right up and go through their 8mm films and see what else is there. Because these films need to be curated and need to be digitized. They need to be saved.
There we go. Let's go ahead and. Yeah, I don't know if it's never before seen or anything, but yeah, it's one of those. I still there was one report that made it look really, really good. I mean, the evidence and everything pointed one direction. It was Secret Service.
Yeah.
And I'll leave it at that.
I'm sure any meaningful video that was taken by innocent bystanders were all absconded that day anyway.
Oh, yeah. If there's anything that proves one one possible thing that happened, it's done gone, or it's stored somewhere to where it'll come out 200 years later or something like that.
Yeah.
to when it's like, oh, who cares? Yeah. Let's see, what else do we got here? Oh yeah, we have this image, which is, looks pretty accurate to me. Not much to say here, the one thing I was surprised was the weekly wages have went down by 3.9%. You would think, with all the raises and everything for the last 4 years, that it would have went up. No.
Well, maybe that particular number takes into account cost of living.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's not just a wash, it's a negative wash.
Yeah.
But I don't know how they do that.
Let's see here. Yeah. And that's, I've noticed places are not hiring. They're only hiring for part-time. They don't hire
Right.
for full-time.
Well, they don't want to have to pay benefits.
And if that pay goes up, it still doesn't make any difference, because you're not making as much because they're not doing as many hours.
Right.
It's cheaper for them to hire multiple people than to give you all the benefits and stuff at that 40-hour mark. Let's see here. Yeah, let's go to our food for today, I guess.
Uh-oh.
Let me get her channel here. And I've had her channel on here before, so it's nothing different. Let me go ahead and add it here. Time to make everybody hungry. Let me start this. And this is best homemade blueberry and lemon muffins. These are low calorie ones. So here we go. All the ingredients you'll need.
Hey guys, how you doing today? It's your girl, Miss Debs, coming to you from here in my kitchen in Orange, New Jersey, giving honor to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, because he's so worthy to be acknowledged and praised on this day and any other day. Wouldn't you guys agree? Because without God, there could be no me, no you, no us, no this. I thank him for my gift to be able to learn how to cook, because it was a learning process. But guys, today, your girl, it's her passion to cook. So again, welcome to my channel. Now guys, today I'm going to be making a healthy version of blueberry muffins. We're going to make blueberry lemon muffins, because we're going to add the lemon extract in it. So it calls for all-purpose flour, 1.5 cup, right? Then we're going to use 1.5 teaspoon of baking powder. We're going to use 1/4 teaspoon of salt, half a cup of milk. I have lactate milk. Then we're going to use 1/4 cup of oil. We're going to use 1/2 cup of sugar, 1 large egg, vanilla extract, 1/2 teaspoon, but I'm going to use lemon because we're making blueberry lemon muffins. And you're going to have 100 grams of fresh blueberries. We're going to put this in a preheated oven of 190 Celsius for 20 to 25 minutes. So we should yield 9 muffins. So I'm over here getting my coconut oil. Instead of using oil, guys, I'm using coconut oil. Let's get this started. So we're going to do my dry first. Give me 1 second. So we're going to start with our flour.
Oh no.
So I have my little measurements already out. I don't know if you can see this.
Oh boy.
I didn't recognize anything, so you're okay.
Hopefully she doesn't do the whole thing in the music. Oh, good. There we go.
And this is going to be so great, guys. I love blueberry muffins. So I have my cup and a half in there, right? Oh, let me let you see that. That's my cup and a half of flour. Now I'm going to use my baking soda. Now we're going to add the baking soda and the flour. This is the 1.5 teaspoon. That's in there. Now we're going to use our salt. We're going to use a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Just going to use a little. Now, guys, I'm going to mix this up. Mixing that up, right? So now I'm going to do my wet ingredients. So that is already incorporated. So let's get rid of all this stuff on the table because guess what? We don't need it anymore. I'm just one of those cooks that like to clean up as I go. Okay, now we're going to put our wet ingredients in here. So it calls for, we're going to put our blueberries in there. We're going to do our 1 egg. We're going to do our oil, which we're using coconut oil, and it's going to be a 1/4 cup. Right? Now we're going to put in our lemon extract.
Hey, Cher.
Right? I forgot I had measured it out already. Then we're going to put our sugar in here. And here's the sugar right here and our milk. So this is how I'm going to do this because me, being the neurotic that I am, I wanted everything to be measured out. Let's clean this up. I have my pan all oiled. Let's put our sugar up, our flour. All right, guys, so I'm going to mix up the wet and we'll be right back. Okay, guys, so this is just me. Whenever I do my muffins, I always put a teaspoon of sour cream in. It just gives, especially if you're doing like lemons or blueberry, any type of tart fruit, it just brings a nice flavor to the ingredients that you're putting together. So we have our dry ingredients here. I'm going to put a little well in the middle of it. And then I'm going to start adding all mine because you keep mixing this until the sugar has dissolved. So I always put my blueberries with my mixture. That's just me. I know a lot of people probably don't do that, but I do that. So I made a well in the middle, so I'm going to start adding this. So you start stirring it. And you don't want to stir it too hard because you don't want to break your blueberries. I mean, eventually they're going to break anyway, but
Yeah.
I just try to keep them as whole as I could.
So much better when they bake and burst in that muffin.
It's almost like a bowl. It's not a heavy, hard, brutal mixing. So I'm just going to mix this, guys, and I'll be right back. Now we're going to put the mixture inside the muffin tins, okay? So here we go. So it says it can yield 9. So let's see. And let me give you a tip, guys. When you're doing any type of soft batter, always, if you're going to use like a cookie scooper or an ice cream scooper, what you do, you put oil, you dip it in the oil first, which I use coconut oil. And it'll help the ingredients come off the spoon. See that? Because this is real sticky because it has sugar, it has eggs, it has blueberries.
Well, it looks like she got more than 9. Uh-oh, looks like her sound might have went off. Hey, you want a blueberry muffin now? That and blueberry pancakes are really good too.
Looks good.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then blueberry bust in there. Oh yeah. And I'm not sure. Yeah, she lost her sound and everything, but there you have it. There it's blueberry lemon muffins. And go ahead and put her link down in there if you guys want to check her out. She cooks and bakes all the time. Now, left the one stuff at the end here. And I mind everybody kind of watch what you say in chat because it's a touchy subject right now. Being there's little ones involved in everything. And yeah, this is, and I don't know if you, yeah, his father has been also been charged 2 counts of second-degree murder, and a bunch of other stuff, and involuntary manslaughter and 8 counts of cruelty to little ones. There's a lot going on that, again, if you didn't watch any of it, there was video of the FBI already being there. I don't know how close the office is that they can run over or whatnot, but they were they were there when he was still in the school. That being said, there is a lot of reports out that the FBI already knew about this kid.
Yeah.
Ahead of time. So it was not a surprise to them that this was going to happen. Now, why the father is arrested and whatnot is he gave his son a pew pew for his birthday. This has been a thing for ages that, father gives the son a pew pew and teaches him how to use it and all this stuff. Now, you can agree with it or not agree with it. I don't know. It's been handed down that way for a long time, since there's been pew pews. And even before that, it was swords being handed down and knives and hatchets and whatever. That's been an ongoing thing. But the thing is, the weapon that was used is not the one that was given to him by his father. Nobody knows where this weapon came from. So they're saying. We may hear something different past that, but it's still a horrible thing. And I'm really surprised that they're actually showing this image and not one of him in grade school or something. But the fact being is, It's right at the beginning of school. His classmates and everything say that they're not surprised. They felt that this kid would do something like this. Why it wasn't reported? Maybe it was reported. Who knows? I don't know. And that basically, I'm just giving you information that I've seen come in. A lot of it, like I said, they've known about him for 2 years before this had happened. What that information is, I don't know if we will ever hear it, or not. Why were they looking at him? Who knows? It's not being released, so it's one of those things like, the Trump thing. We have to wait and see it and hear it day by day when it comes out. There's already body cam footage being leaked already. It's just, them evacuating students. Other than that's about all I know on this. I figure I would save it for the end of the live here, so maybe I can get away with it. But yeah, it's just something we're going to have to keep eye on. And the more stuff, I'm sure will continue to keep coming out. With that, I'm going to go ahead and end it for the day. And let me go ahead and bring up our Bible verse for today. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Exodus 14:14.
Nice.
And with that, I want to wish everybody a blessed weekend. And yep, I heard that their new system probably saved lives.
Yeah, I heard that too.
And the one guy who probably saved a lot of lives was the one armed person in school.
I think it was the SRO there, one of them,
and
confronted him.
That's what we need. I mean, you have a guard at a bank. Are our kids more important than the money that's in that bank? It should be,
Agreed. The sad thing is, a lot of schools haven't implemented anything, even after all of these tragedies. And, get a handle on it. If you got to make it a fortress, make it a fortress.
Yeah.
But anyway.
And that's the thing I never understood. We have all these things in place for banks, courthouses, and museums. Even there's all this stuff, but our kids,
expendable
glass doors, most time anybody can walk in. Why is that a thing? And the whole fact that everybody knew this kid was capable of doing something like that. Oh, he would be the person to do it. Why, if he's being investigated for it, I don't know. It's an irritating subject.
Yeah.
And all I can do is pray for those involved and Yeah. But I want to thank everybody for hanging out today. Everybody have a blessed day, and not sure what's all in plan for this weekend, but
Are you going live tonight, Bush?
yeah, I should be going live. I gotta go out for a while here today, but I should be back in time to get things going. Because we're actually gonna get rain. Woo!
Take mine, please.
But guys, have a wonderful day and God bless.
Yeah, take care.